Hello guys, and welcome back to TSN, or the Sasuke Nerds. And for the second time this year, we are going to be talking about an international show. This time around, it's Ninja Warrior France Season 8, dubbed Face the Legends. So with that said, let's talk about it. As is the case with most Ninja Warrior France seasons, the format is very contrived, and I'm going to have to explain it in a whole chapter of its own. To start, the qualifiers consisted of a 6-obstacle Ninja vs. Ninja heat. The first person to beat the third obstacle gets to choose what obstacle to attempt on the split decision crossroads, leaving the obstacle they did not choose for their opponent. After split decision, competitors have a choice between the normal warped wall and the mega wall. Beating the mega wall prematurely ends the race and automatically advances you to the finals. The 6 furthest fastest winning men and the 2 furthest fastest winning women of each race will move on to the semi-finals, where the big twist comes into effect. Each competitor would have to face what the show dubs a legend, a returning elite class competitor. Who races who is determined by the choice of the competitor, the available choices shrinking with each race. The winner of each race will move on to the finals, and the fastest clear of each semi-finals is awarded a Joker, which is France's version of a safety pass. Only the top 8 in stage 1 would automatically advance. The next 8 men and 2 women would race in what I dub a repechage, which is just an invisible ladder race. The winners of those races will move on to stage 2, and after that is mostly normality in the format, other than stage 2 not having a time limit for whatever reason. So let's talk about the stuff I like in this season. So, to start, the rules were generally easier to understand compared to France 7. France's rules have never been too simple. There's always been some nitty-gritty in how they work, but hey, I was able to explain them, so I guess that has to count for something, right? On a side note, I was a pretty big fan of the qualifiers. They were very fun to watch, and they didn't drag on for too long. The Ninja vs. Ninja races actually meant something if an opponent ended up failing early, because something I hate about Ninja vs. Ninja is that if a competitor fails, the competitor on the other side just kinda keeps going. And that's never really an interesting thing to watch in a show like this. So I feel like this is the best way to write it off. Super Ninja kind of tried to do something like it in the roughest way possible. They just had people reattempt the obstacles, but that's not very fun to watch. And it actually gives emphasis on failing an obstacle. So, you know, that's always good. To continue on that, thank God we actually got a Mega Wall clear. The Mega Wall just sat there and people kind of sucked because, again, the only people who were in the Ninja vs. Ninja qualifiers were rookies, basically, for the most part. They were rookies. So, at least it didn't just sit there collecting dust. And to continue on stuff I love about this season, I loved the finale. Apart from one thing, which we'll get to momentarily, I enjoyed a lot of things about it. The pacing, you know, the results, the obstacles, kinda. It was very fun to watch, and the final stage especially, that was wonderful to watch. You know, you had John Tessonaz making that big run. You had Clement Gravier beating his own time, and then Matthias, I didn't even think he was gonna make it, but he did. And even beat Clement's time, which is incredible, to say the least. Semis were serviceable, but this is where we get to the stuff I don't like about this season. And contrary to a lot of reviews, I actually am going to be pretty positive. There aren't a lot of things I didn't like about this season. First of all, yeah, facing the Legends was kind of an concept, but they did the best they could with the format. Except for one thing, I didn't really like the female Legends, which is no fault of their own. I don't hate the competitors, for one, if that's the impression you got. I just don't think it's very fun, because the female Legends weren't really Legends, exactly. They weren't elite competitors, which is what happens when you only have maybe 2 people in Ninja Warrior France that are actually competent, that are female. It's just what happens. And another thing, piggybacking off of my words on the finale, I wasn't too big on Stage 2 being untimed. Stage 1 untimed was in the last season, I'm pretty sure. It's just a little rough to see Stage 2 not have a time limit. For a stage that has, you know, emphasis on speed, I didn't really see a lot of speed. It rewards people for resting for a long period of time on a stage where you should not be resting for long periods of time. On top of that, what's the point of the Stage 2 buzzer if, you know, you're just going to go down and attempt Stage 3? And that's not to insult the concept of that, because I don't mind Stage 2 going into Stage 3, and plus it happens in every other show anyway, so whatever. But yeah, that's just something to note on my opinion of the second stage. But yeah, that puts us at the end of Ninja Warrior France Season 8's review. Surprisingly, I thought this was really good. Honestly, it was great. It goes toe-to-toe with basically everything else that's happened in this year. It beats Super Ninja, that's for sure. Super Ninja does not compare. But you'll see more on my opinions at the end of the year when I do a review on everything. But that's it for this video. But before you go, click on this annotation for Cayne review. He has a lot of interesting things to say about it. He's the International Ninja Guy. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next video. See ya!